This is the research proposal presentation for student ID number 06016317. Why have you chosen to base your research on this topic? I've chosen to investigate setting up a trail riding business in Caithness. Currently I manage a livery yard in the county and I teach on a freelance basis. My livery clients and I enjoy hacking our horses out, but are increasingly experiencing problems with inconsiderate drivers. It has become quite challenging and I feel that off-road hacking would be a much safer option and more relaxing for us and our horses. Trail rides would be ideal for this, so the idea was born. I feel that I could combine my interest for horses and safe off-road hacking with my current business knowledge and teaching experience to introduce a trail riding venture. There are 3 established riding schools in the county. They offer their clients lessons and short beach rides. There are no businesses offering trail riding or anything of a similar nature in Caithness. I would like to ascertain whether trail riding would be a viable option, either as an extension to my current business or as another one in its own right before I take further steps towards the expansion plans. Why are you researching this particular topic? I'm researching into trail riding as I also believe that Caithness would benefit from another tourism facility. If the predicted government statistics are correct, then visitor numbers are set to rise throughout the next decade. These visitors require something to come for, to do, and that's where I think trail riding would be ideal. It can offer an exciting and different way to experience the beautiful scenery that Caithness offers, not forgetting the exercise involved and therefore also promoting a healthier lifestyle which has become increasingly popular in our culture in recent times. Trails would also be open for other users, such as cyclists and walkers, with the potential to affect many more businesses within Caithness. However, the market research must be done to gather evidence that there is an opening for the facility first. What are your main literature sources and how have you located and accessed these? I've used a variety of sources for my literature search. Journals and government reports accessed online and from the British Library have investigated the Scottish tourism industry as a whole and the adventure tourism sector within it. Predicted tourism trends and statistics have been examined, including those for Caithness and the Highlands and Islands. I've accessed websites of the existing horse riding businesses in Caithness, identifying their services that they offer. I've also examined 2 existing Scottish trail riding businesses, one in Brora Highlands and one in Ayrshire, specifically examining their services, facility and customer feedback. Library and online searches have examined maps of existing and historic routes within Caithness and the immediate surrounding areas of Sutherland. This search is proving to be particularly time-consuming and will be ongoing. Marketing books have been studied to gain more understanding into marketing plans and business strategies. What is the overall aim of your proposal and why? The overall aim of the research proposal is to set out to investigate the potential for the development of a trail riding business in Caithness. Investigating the market and customer base before investing any capital into the new business is essential. So this research proposal is the first step in that investigation. What are the research questions you're setting out to answer? There are 3 objectives in relation to my aim. The first one, are there ample accessible routes in Caithness? Number 2, is there interest in trail riding from potential customers? And finally, would it be worth running a trail riding business? What methodologies are you using to conduct your research approach, data collection, data analysis and data presentation, and why? I've undertaken a literature review and will continue to do so, examining the Scottish tourism industry, specifically looking at the adventure tourism sector. Journals have been examined, allowing me to gain a deeper understanding into the adventure tourism sector. Using journals is particularly useful as they give a greater insight into how the sector is divided and which adventure activities are currently available within the different areas of Scotland. Recent government reports have enabled me to analyse the tourism industry statistics from the past, presently and predictions for the future in Scotland, in the Highlands and Islands and in Caithness, providing me with the trends for the industry in these different areas. I've also examined the websites of the horse riding establishments in Caithness, the competition, and the websites of 2 other trail riding businesses in Scotland. the services they offer and their customer feedback has been recorded. Maps are being examined to establish the availability of footpaths and rights of way within the county. One interesting possibility is the use of an old railway line which runs from Leicester to Wick along the coast. Marketing textbooks have proven to be invaluable when deciding on questionnaire and interview questions. I am familiar with these from past modules I have done for my studies, and I will continue to refer to them for future guidance throughout the project. I've recently undertaken a SWOT analysis as a result of the research I've examined so far. This has helped to focus on the areas which require developing before the business can be established. Literature analysis will be ongoing throughout the research project. Primary data will also be collected using two main methods. First, existing equestrian business owners will be interviewed using a semi-structured face-to-face approach. The reasons for choosing this method are the sensitive nature when dealing with competitors, and I will be able to allay any fears they may have as well as observing their behaviour during the interview. The interviews will allow me to gain a greater insight into the current riding sector within Caithness. Interviewees will be asked for permission to record their interviews on an audio recorder, and the recording will be transcribed after the interview. Care will be taken to record the tone of the interviewee as well as the words that were actually spoken. Each interview transcript will be examined to see whether there are common themes and relationships between them and categorised accordingly. The second method is using quantitative approach, and 150 questionnaires will be distributed by hand. A non-probability self-selection technique is to be used, due to the time limits for the project and to preserve confidentiality. However, with this method there is the possibility of bias as participants have chosen to be involved, which may mean that they won't participate due to their own strong opinions. Before the 150 questionnaires are distributed, a sample of 10 pilot questionnaires will be tested. Data received will be analysed to check for any issues that I may have overlooked with the questionnaire designed to ensure that accurate and relevant information only is gathered from the 150 questionnaires. The questionnaires themselves will be kept as short as possible, with the important questions located in the middle. Closed questions will make it easier and quicker for the participants and minimise discrimination against the less literate. They will also make my job easier when coding, recording and analysing the data. The questions will include ranking questions to ascertain what participants believe to be important, using a number system with 1 being most important to 5 least important. For example, factors that would influence your decisions when considering a trail riding holiday, such as the location of the trail, scenery encountered, weather conditions, type of accommodation provided and type of horse provided. Rating questions will be included to gain an insight into thoughts of participants and will follow a Likert style. An open question will follow some of the closed questions to enable participants to expand on their choices, although this data will be qualitative. At the end of the questionnaire, respondents will be thanked for their time and consideration. Who are your research sample and how will you gain access? The research sample for the questionnaires are over 18-year-olds, tourists and visitors to Caithness and the local horsey community. The samples identified are being used because the potential customers for trail riding are visitors and or tourists to the area. The local horsey community are included because they will give an insight into the equine side of the business and may be potential users of the trails around the county. Questionnaires are to be distributed to tourists via guest houses, bed and breakfasts, hotels, hostels within Caithness. The equine respondents will be accessed via distribution to the local branches of the Pony Club, the Riding Club, British Horse Society and the North Highland College equine students. Questionnaires will also be placed in local tack shops and in the indoor arena in Halkirk. The interview samples will be owners of current horse riding businesses in Caithness. The interviews are designed to gain a greater understanding into their views on the current horse riding sector within the county. Also, to gain information on their opinion of a new venture and its potential impact on them. Are there any ethical or special issues to be considered? Questionnaires and interviews will be conducted in English, involve over 18 years old and over, and will use the self-selection technique. They are therefore no ethical issues, and they are in line with the UHI research ethics policy. What are you doing to ensure the validity of your research? Tourism industry research has been accessed from reliable sources only. Most recent government agency reports and surveys have been consulted. Peer-reviewed research papers no older than 10 years have been used to ensure the validity of the research. What do they anticipate will be gained through your research? The research will establish whether there is enough interest from customers to contemplate beginning the business. It will also assess what they would expect from the business, for example, the length of trail rides, age group allowed, equipment required, and accommodation provisions. Interviews will also determine the thoughts and feelings of the business's competitors, allowing me to gain an insight into the current horse sector, which can be assessed against government statistics and their predictions. Trail riding routes will be examined, and a greater depth of knowledge into the potential access problems to the routes will be identified. Once these questions have been answered, I will be able to consider whether I will begin to look at setting up the trail riding business. Questionnaire data will be recorded as they are received. I will then use a predictive and analytic software package in the form of SPSS to examine the statistics and test for frequencies and relationships using cross-tabulation. I will present the data by creating tables, graphs, and pie charts demonstrating the results from the SPSS system.